Do you see other women having jobs and living their own independent lives as condemnation to your marriage? Because if so, you're probably not in a happy marriage. You guys want to be oppressed so badly.
I'm sorry. As I always say, I'm a C student. So, isn't this condemning her? Like,
that's what exactly.
I'm sorry. Maybe I don't know the definition of condemn. Maybe that's what it is. But her flicking her off and saying, "Oh, you're probably unhappy marriage," isn't that within itself condemning her? So saying no one is condemning you and then condemns her.
It's giving blood and soil. Like, no? Like, is it from the Nazi Women's Magazine? Or is it from 2022 TikTok? Like,
Wait.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Rebecca, and today I am joined with the lovely Chantel Simone in my studio, in my home. She is here. She is here from Dallas. I am so excited to have her. If you guys missed her live stream, this was crazy, y'all. 3-hour live stream, okay, about deadbeats, deadbeat mamas, deadbeat daddies. Okay, so make sure to check that out. Chantel, give us a little bit of background about who you are, what you do.
I'm so excited to be here. I'm Chantel, and I use my channel to share my story, the mistakes I made, in hopes that younger girls don't repeat those mistakes. So
Yeah.
I was like a boss babe, focus on my education, focus on my career, spend little time learning how to be a wife, how to be a mom.
Yeah.
So I hit the wall, as they say.
The dreaded wall.
And had no knowledge on how to get and keep a man. So I use my channel to encourage women to spend time before they hit the wall in their prime years to prioritize dating and relationships. So they'll have their desired outcome.
That's awesome. I'm so happy that you're here because we see eye to eye on a lot of things, okay? We related in the sense that we were both boss babes, that we were both in this feminist ideology type of crap, and we broke free, and we are inspiring and encouraging other women to see that there are other sides, right? There's another side to this. You don't have to follow the same ideology. You don't have to follow the same path as everyone else if you don't want to, right? If you want to make a change, and if you want to start learning how to take accountability and learning from our mistakes, then make sure you follow Miss Chantel Simone because she has amazing takes on her channel. I love her. She does live streams. How many times a week?
On the weekends. No.
Okay. She live streams every weekend. Make sure to hit the subscribe button for her. I will have her channel linked down below and in the actual title for you guys. And today, Chantel, we are going to talk about the TradWife trend. Now, there's this specific woman that we're going to talk about. Her name is Estee, and she is a traditional wife, a stay-at-home wife. She doesn't have children yet, but she's been getting a lot of flack on the internet, and specifically from the feminists and from modern women who don't like what she is putting out there. They think that she is contributing to, bad things for women and setting women back. So we're going to see, and we're going to witness with our two eyes, what is so offensive about this particular woman, okay? We're gonna dissect these videos and we're gonna give our commentary, and I specifically did not show you these videos. This is going to be a fresh, new take that she's never seen, okay? She doesn't know who this woman is. She doesn't know what she's looking at. So this is gonna be amazing. If you guys like me, if you guys want to see my face ever again, please give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps me. I'm on the road to 100,000 subscribers, 91,000 subscribers, y'all. Get me to 100,000 subscribers. I would really appreciate it. Subscribe down below and hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. And make sure to like and subscribe to Miss Chantel Simone because she is amazing, she's beautiful, and she gives amazing advice for the young ladies out there, okay? So let's jump into these clips.
I'm excited.
Shall we? Okay. The idea is that she cooks, cleans, and submits to her husband. And modern women are mad that she looks like that she dresses like that she's trying to emulate this 1950s wife, right, for her husband. And they're calling this misogynistic. They're calling it dangerous. We're going to see.
But I'm confused because this was all she did, right?
This is the video that went viral.
And she didn't say anything about feminism or anything. She just says, while the world continues to condemn.
I'm going to live my truth, essentially, which is her truth is cooking, cleaning, taking care of her family, taking care of her husband, documenting her life.
Living life how she chooses to live life.
Correct.
This is why I say feminism is pointless. Because the first wave feminism apparently was to give women the choice to choose, the freedom to choose if they want to be a housewife or if they want to work. She's choosing to be a housewife.
Yeah.
She's choosing to cook and clean.
Yeah.
And they're offended by that.
They're offended. And you're going to see why that statement that you said offends them even more. That means that they're saying that that's not a choice.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So this video is her clarifying what a traditional wife is and kind of addressing the backlash of what she's gotten because she's gotten articles written about her.
What?
Yeah.
Because she cooks for her husband?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm here to make a clarification video because of the big controversy going around about the term TradWife and the intent behind the term, as well as the intent behind my channel and what I post. If you are not familiar with the term TradWife, it is a woman who chooses to live a more traditional life with ultra-traditional gender roles. So the man goes outside the house, works, provides for the family. The woman stays home and she's the homemaker. She takes care of the home and the children if there are any. The misconception about the TradWife movement, it's not really a movement. Nobody's pushing it. People are typically just living it and maybe showcasing their lifestyle like me. And we believe our place, specifically us as individuals, believe our purpose is to be homemakers. It doesn't mean that we are trying to take away what women fought for. There are a lot of people trying to make this a sinister thing or put some other darker meaning behind the term TradWife. Nobody is doing that. No TradWife TikTokers are saying every woman's place is in their home. We as individuals are just choosing to be homemakers. That's all. TradWives also believe that they should submit to their husbands and serve their husbands and family. And that triggers people because the words submit and serve, it makes women think that we're saying that we're less than a man. That's not what we're saying. TradWives just believe that they are here as women for a different role Equally as important though. I can make another video on that another time. To be a homemaker and to have traditional values does not make us bad people. It's 2022, women should have the choice to be homemakers or not without being judged. And women should also be able to use the term TradWife, which means traditional wife, and not be shunned for wanting to be more traditional.
Your take, ma'am.
I love that she said it's an individual decision. So they're not, TradWife isn't like all women should stay home, all women belong in the kitchen. It's the individual choose, I want to be in the kitchen, I want to stay home. Why is that? Why are people mad if I choose that I want to stay home? I don't like, it's my home. Why am I like?
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's so ironic that when women make that decision to stay at home, that's a problem. That goes against women's rights and what we fought for, right? And they specifically don't like her because she's taking it to an extreme where she's dressing like a 1950s Stepford wife. But that's her aesthetic. That's what her husband likes. That's the thing, guys. If your husband likes it, do it. What's the problem with this, right? They're saying that she's being sexualized on the internet. What is so sexualized?
Compared to what? The OnlyFans post on there? I mean, what? To me, it's mind-blowing because they are doing what they claim the patriarchy did.
Exactly.
Trying to remove her choice, her freedom, free will of saying, hey, I want to dress. How on earth are you going to tell her that she's not allowed to dress like that if she likes to dress like that?
We can't tell modern women, say, hey, cover your titties, cover your butt.
Their body, their choice. Isn't it her body, her choice? She want to cover her body.
She wants to wear the outfits that her and her husband like for her to wear. That's the thing, is like, I'm a stay-at-home mom, right? I don't dress like that. I'm pretty like, I'm a sporty mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like to wear, athleisure stuff. But if that is your prerogative and that's what works for you and that's what also makes your husband happy, then go for it. What is the problem? This is a great example, right? We want to always highlight bad examples of what people are doing. This is a great example of what a woman is doing. And if you like it and if you want to also do it, it's your choice.
If you don't watch it. I find that I can't watch
Don't watch it.
Don't watch it if you don't like, I don't like what she's wearing. Just don't watch her videos. I can't watch current shows or movies because there's nobody that represents who I want to be. Yeah. It's always the boss babe or the go-getter, the ones who are at the head of the company, and they're always belittling or talking down to their men. They're the ones who usually wear the pants. I don't want to be like that. I only want to watch content that I'm like, oh, I want to be like that when I grow up. When I'm married, that's what I want to be. So I watch those content. Yeah. But for them to say, oh, well, she shouldn't allow to wear that. What if it fits her body type?
She looks great. She's beautiful. That's the thing too, is like feminism. And I've said this so many times. Feminism makes you ugly inside and out. If you look at my photos from when I was a feminist, people say, oh yeah, you rocked it well, right? The blue hair, the pink hair, the no hair. Cool. I might have, right? I might have. But I was ugly on the inside and on the outside. And this woman, I can see that she's genuinely happy. She's making this content not because her husband forces her to do it, not because she's saying, oh, look at how amazing my life is,
and yours sucks,
and yours sucks. No, she's saying, I just want to document, like, this is what I make for my husband, and he enjoys it. Maybe you guys can take my recipe too.
And like-minded people can watch and we can share recipes, we can talk. But people who aren't like-minded are hopping on her page, telling her what she should do on her page, when a simple solution is just don't watch my page. It blows my mind. And that's the thing. We can't sit here and have a conversation about how we want to cater to our men, how we want to submit without somebody saying, oh, you're a pick me, you're a pick me.
Yep. That's the first thing. That's the first thing that comes out of their mouth. We are just sharing our experiences. And if you take it, my husband says this all the time. I've said it so many times. Eat the meat, spit out the bones. If you don't like it, take what is necessary, take what you like, and then spit out the rest. If it doesn't apply to you, keep it pushing.
If it doesn't apply, let it fly.
That. So let's talk about, we've got a few responses from this video, and they're triggered. They are triggered, okay? So we are going to get into this.
No one's condemning you. No one is condemning you. I see this argument with traditional housewives or traditional marriage all the time. No one is condemning you. Do you see other women having jobs and living their own independent lives as condemnation to your marriage? Because if so, you're probably not in a happy marriage. You guys want to be oppressed so badly.
I'm sorry. As I always say, I'm a C student. So, isn't this condemning her? Like,
that's why. Exactly.
I'm sorry. Maybe I don't know the definition of condemn. Maybe that's what it is. But her flicking her off and saying, "Oh, you're probably in an unhappy marriage," isn't that within itself condemning her? So saying no one is condemning you and then condemns her. Yeah.
That's exactly why I played this one.
Yeah.
Hypocrisy at its finest. Like I said, if you want to have an independent boss babe life, if you want a career, if you want all of that, good, amazing. Get your bag. Do whatever you want to do. Have, promiscuous sex. It doesn't matter. Okay, as long as you're not hurting someone else or the creation of someone else, okay? That's where I draw the line. However, there are results to your actions. I'm not going to say consequences. There are results. Everyone is allowed their opinion. Everyone has the right to their opinion. That's why we have these platforms. That's why people speak. And that's perfectly fine. If you think that she's not condemning her, that's your prerogative. However, it seems to me that she is making fun of this woman and saying your life is clearly miserable, that you think everyone is trying to victimize you. No.
Yeah.
That's not what is actually happening. The backlash is from Twitter. The backlash is from the comment section. The backlash is from all of these different sources.
This girl is one girl. And the content creator, remind me of her name again? Estee sees the receipts of people who are condemning her. She's saying, hey, when I post these videos, people condemn me. Who the hell are you to say no one is condemning her when she has the comments?
Yeah.
She has the receipts, like.
And it's really easy to go into the comments of these TikToks and see these women complain. And it's mostly on Twitter too. A lot of the backlash has been from Twitter. Yeah, from modern women, feminists who identify. These are women who self-identify as feminists. Okay, now I'm not saying that they are. I'm saying they say that they are.
Yeah.
So whether you believe in feminism or not, or you believe in upholding women and supporting women, this is not women supporting women. A lot of these, like the backlash, is always the personal attacks. It's never the attack of the idea. It's never the, this person's behavior. It's always, she's clearly in a bad relationship.
Yeah, because it doesn't even correlate. Like, how would it be clear that she's in a bad marriage if she's saying she's being condemned? Like what indicates that her marriage is bad? So it's always a personal attack. It's always an insult. It's never anything like, you say something about what she said. Why are you attacking her marriage?
Here's another response.
It's giving blood and soil. Like,
No.
like, Is it from the Nazi Women's Magazine, or is it from 2022 TikTok? Like,
Wait. She showed a lady breastfeeding her baby. She showed a family, mom, dad, kids. And she said, if I'm so confused.
No, so she's pulling up like Nazi propaganda and she's saying, "Oh, is this 2023 TikTok or is this?"
But with that logic, if you're breastfeeding your baby, should I accuse you of being a part of the Nazis?
Basically.
Because she's showing family pictures. Like, it's not like, I mean, remove the Nazi signs from it. Remove that. Like, if I was to see this, I would say, "Oh, look, it's a family." I wouldn't think, "Oh, it's Nazis," because everybody.
Yo, this is crazy. This is like,
the logic doesn't.
There's no logic. What are you talking about? There's no logic.
I just think that if I was part of a movement that had a lot of crossover with fascists and neo-Nazis and Nazi culture, I would probably make sure that my propaganda for my lifestyle did not, like, emulate the 1920s and 30s. Do you know, like, what I mean?
Do you know?
Just how I do stuff, though.
Do they listen to them?
You
Like,
know.
where's the critical thinking? Okay, so because a white supremacist grocery shop, I shouldn't grocery shop? Like, she's showing like, it doesn't make any sense. Estee shows image of things that people do everyday life. Oh my gosh, there's so many holes in her argument where it's just like, you should, like, did she even think about it before she posted it? Like, like, she really thinks she has a point?
Yeah. The point is that because it is similar imagery to what Nazi magazine for women put out, that is the same. So, like, being a TradWife now is considered, you're a white supremacist, you are a racist, you are a bigot, all of the phobes.
But it's images that we do in everyday life.
Yes, so it doesn't matter. Like, the point is, it doesn't matter.
I like conversations where it's like, okay, I want to understand your perspective, but please come with logic.
Yes. There is no
logic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you cannot present that argument, "Oh, well, just because the Nazis used a family on their flyers, so if you take a picture of a family, then you must be a part of." It makes no logic.
And if we're gonna use that argument, right? 1950s imagery in probably any culture in the world looked similar because it was the media outlet at that time. It was the media, right? So that imaging was everywhere in different magazines and newspapers all across the world. Hi, that's how the media works, right? So today we get the LGBTQ agenda, we get, the Lizzos of the world. We get that. We are fed that. That is the culture of today. Mm-hmm. So the 1950s imagery, that was what the imagery was across the board.
Because there weren't social media or anything like that for us to have a diverse.
It was whatever the propaganda was at the time, right? So I get it. Is the 1950s housewife ideal? No, I don't subscribe to that. That's not my preference. I don't dress like a 1950s wife in order to be traditional. But if that is your aesthetic and if that's what you like and that's what your husband likes, go for it, sis. Okay? But people also want to say, like, "Oh, why are everyone, trying to emulate?" Because they're trying to get rid of feminism. Mm-hmm. They're trying to get away from all of the things that we've been shoved down our throats on social media. Mm-hmm. That's why they're like, I want to go to what I think is a simpler time in life, which, if you look at all of the different media publications, is that imagery. It's about family. It's about that nuclear family, about the connection of mother, father, kids,
yeah.
white picket fence.
And there's this one picture at Thanksgiving time. I don't know why this picture.
I know
when he's
yes,
cutting the turkey.
Yes.
So it's like so that to her logic then, and to say the imagery in the 1950s, then no one can show image of the 1950s without being labeled as Nazis.
Yes.
It's if we're going to use her logic.
But that is essentially the logic that we're using. Ugh. I know it all starts the same.
Yeah,
because they're all stitching her thing.
Term TradWife, it is a woman who chooses to live a more traditional life with.
So choices don't exist in a vacuum. When you make a choice, you're making a choice in a social and a political context. And your choices have consequences for other people. And there are good choices and bad choices. Not every choice a woman makes is going to be necessarily liberating, particularly when we live in a society that constrains women's choice so much. In fact, most things are determined by our social and political context. Very little of what we do is in fact a choice. One of the slogans in second wave feminism was "the personal is political." And that's been used to mean many things that it wasn't originally intended. But the original intention behind "the personal is political" is to critically examine the choices we make and critically examine the constraints we have on those choices. It's not a surprise that women are finding the TradWife lifestyle appealing right now, in a time where women are so hypersexualized, when we have this toxic hookup culture, when most men are consuming very violent pornography. Just going, "oh, it's a choice," shuts down all critical examination of any of those factors. And maybe you have this lifestyle and you have a nice life. I don't know you. But the fact is, giving your full material security over to a man is a very dangerous choice for many women and children.
Okay, so that's her issue. She said all of that.
The mental gymnastics.
The last 5 seconds is where her real issue is. She doesn't trust men. And it blows her mind that someone else trusts her husband to take care of her financially. In a culture that says her body, her choice. Okay.
Feminism pushes the goalposts so far that now choice is not really a thing.
Yeah.
Choice is a social construct.
Oh my God.
The patriarchy, the social, political manifestation of the choice. You don't trust men. Therefore, you don't understand why other women would put their trust in a man that they married, that they made a commitment to, that they want to raise children with. It is so mind-blowing for some women to understand that that is a reality for a lot of women in the world. What's also probably mind-boggling to this woman is that women in those marriages are having conversation with their husbands to compromise in order to make these things happen, i.e. staying at home, raising children, the man providing. That is not a decision that is made by one person. That is made for the entire family unit, taking all things considered to make the decision at the end of the day to either stay home, work, put kids in childcare, figure it out. Everyone has to make that choice. If you're now saying that choice is now a social construction, something that is not a real thing because of the social barriers and boundaries that we have, what's next?
But okay, but I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. Because if choice is a social construct, even within then, don't we still have a choice within the social construct? Like,
yes, but she's also saying then that also nullifies the fact that it's also your choice to be independent and a boss lady, because
Exactly.
that's a social construction.
So if the fact that you do have TradWives, and she said women are gravitating to TradWives, the fact that you do have them, and then you have women like herself who are not TradWives, that's still a choice. Like, unless the only time I can see where you don't have a choice in certain things is slavery.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is not the case here.
It is not the case, because the
and for
TradWife,
most couples,
Estee can get up tomorrow and say, I'm not going to do this anymore. And she has the choice. What do you think her purpose was for saying that? Is she saying Estee doesn't really have a choice to be a...
She's basically saying, because of society's boundaries and because of patriarchy and because the way the world has been constructed, your victimhood determines where you land, like what decisions you make.
So in other words, you don't have any control over your life. You're just a victim.
Yes.
Okay.
Next.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Welcome to the mental gymnastics of feminism. A whole bunch of word salad, a whole bunch of nothing, just to say, don't trust men because they're not trustworthy and they're going to put you down, they're going to enslave you, they're going to manipulate you, they're going, like, women need to be independent. But that's the other thing too, is that in the eyes of a feminist, they need to deconstruct all of these things and tear down all of these systems in place in order to start new, so that they can implement their ideology, so that they can implement their processes and how they want the world to be run. Get it? So it's not about, working with the chess game that you've already, like the game of life, right?
Yeah.
It's about, we need to flip the chess.
Getting rid of it.
We need to make a new game.
Yeah.
And that's what they want. At the end of the day, that's all feminism wants. They don't want to play by the rules. They want to create a new game.
Yeah.
This kind of resurgence in the ideals of kind of like a 1950s housewife, right? With like the stay-at-home girlfriend culture. So let me just read this. For quick context, the author Betty Friedan had gone and interviewed a bunch of 1960s stay-at-home housewives. But what was mummy really like?
Okay, more context. Betty Friedan was a feminist, so she's observing these things through the lens of feminism. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I wouldn't say let's not say radical feminist, but she was a very prominent feminist of her time. Okay.
But what was mummy really like? 16 of the 28 were in analysis or analytical psychotherapy. 18 were taking tranquilizers, several had tried suicide, and some had been hospitalized for varying periods for depression or vaguely diagnosed psychotic states. You'd be surprised at the number of these happy suburban wives who simply go berserk one night and run streaking through the streets without any clothes on, said the local doctor. Of the women who breastfed their babies, one had continued desperately until the child was so undernourished that the doctor had had to intervene by force. I'm just very scared about the way that the rhetoric around stay-at-home wives is sounding at the moment. And I think this book really clears up some of these falsehoods and myths about how great it is to be a stay-at-home mother.
In this book, Betty interviews 28 suburban housewives, okay? The 16 out of the 28 were on some sort of psychotropic medication or psychotherapy, because at the time, let me just explain to you this too. In the 1950s, that's when they introduced and created antidepressants. So all of this stuff was being experimented on in the first place, starting in the 1950s and moving up. So let's just say a new drug or new types of therapies are coming out in order to treat depression, anxiety, and whatnot, right? So she takes 28 suburban women. I'm guessing these are women in her local area. So she's looking at a very, very small group of women. That is not a case study. That is not a data set. That is not you don't make assumptions, or you don't make conclusions. I'm not even going to say assumptions. You're not going to make conclusions on a data set of 28 suburban women in one area of town.
You would think common sense will tell them that, but
okay, right? Track with me. She's saying at the end, this is a very dangerous movement because of all of the things that happened to these 28 women in this quote unquote study, right? That Betty was analyzing. When people want to pull facts, I got more facts for you.
Like she knows she's saying something.
Okay? Literally reading it like this is my manifesto for life. Antidepressant use increased with age overall in both sexes. Use with the highest among age 60 and over, okay, at 24.3%. Antidepressant use was higher among non-Hispanic white adults. So white women, essentially, okay? This is from the CDC. How was depression treated in the 1950s? The use of certain treatments for mental illness changed with every medical advance. Although hydrotherapy, metrazole, convolution, and insulin shock therapy were very popular in the 1930s. These methods gave way to psychotherapy in the 1940s. By 1950s, doctors have favored artificial fever therapy and electroshock therapy. So these women are basically getting the first rounds of whatever medication is out there. We know the side effects of antidepressants. We know what it does to women today, right? Because we know what it does to people today, right? It causes other issues in your body. This is from Harvard, okay? This is from Harvard. According to a report released by the National Center of Health Statistics, the rate of antidepressant use in this country, the United States, among teens and adults, people ages 12 and older, increased by almost 400% between 1988 and 1994 and 2005 to 2008. This is not 1950, okay? Have people always been depressed? Yes. Have people always been on have anxiety problems? Yes. It doesn't matter if it was 1950 to 2023. Most families have 2 cars. The woman that's living in a suburban environment is most likely living in a city that has local town things that you can do, shops, coffee shops, restaurants, entertainment. You're not living in 1950s suburbia, okay? We are living in 2023 with social media, with local restaurants, with local entertainment. Even if you didn't have a car, right? The amount of people that have cars now is much higher than in 1950 when people shared one car.
Yeah. There are so many other variables to say, okay, you can't equate it. You can't
equate 1950s household suburban housewife to 2023 TikTok, social media stay-at-home mom,
Zoom calls, and
where you can have a job, keep a job from your home. You can work a part-time job. You can work a full-time job from the convenience of your house. You can grocery shop online and have your groceries delivered to your door. You don't have to leave if you don't want to. People have social media. You have TV. You have other modern day things that are a part of our lives. The woman of the 1950s probably was bored because she couldn't leave her house. She didn't have the things in her local neighborhood to quote unquote distract her or entertain her for the day. Right? So they were going through some things, but if you're gonna give me a data set of 28, do better. If that's what your whole premise is about, this is what you're basing your entire argument on, the fact that women who stayed at home in the 1950s struggled with their mental health.
And that, you made a good point, because it's like, okay, are we saying they struggle with their mental health because they stayed at home? Or is there another variable where it's like, okay, all these women probably taking the same meds, or they're probably in the same neighborhood, like there's something
we don't
else.
know
Yeah.
the variables that are in place.
Yeah.
And to say, like, the data set is so small, how can you even take that as biblical, like 100% truth, and base your entire argument on something that is so small? Give me more.
Exactly. And the fact that she made her video saying that
To counteract
it's like, okay, like the first thing I would have thought of when I read that, only 28 would be my first thing. And then I would ask the question, okay, where were these 28 women? Where did they get them from? 16 of 28 women reported. Okay, so that's 16 women who are stay-at-home wives reported that they were unhappy. Okay, is there something else of those 16? What do they have in common? Like, is there...
If they want to live their life and present that life on social media, yeah, anyone is up for criticism. Anyone is up for scrutiny. Go ham. No one's saying anything about that. But to call it a dangerous movement,
to stay at home and take care of the household and your husband and your wife and your kids, pardon me, and you call that a dangerous movement. That's crazy.
That's what I have a problem with.
Yeah.
Bring me more facts than that.
Yeah.
Because that was dismantled with a quick search on Google.
Yeah.
Hey, look, modern life. We have phones. We have Google. Look things up on Google. What is so difficult about looking things up? Looking at, like, to me, that's how I went. I was like, 28 is your data set. Let's look at the antidepressant use of then to now. 400%, and that's not even including, that is not even before 1988. Okay, 1988 up until now, 400% increase in antidepressants, anti-anxiety medication, and you're saying, oh, the 1950s, all of these women were depressed and on psychotherapy and all this other stuff. That was the introduction of that time. Look at now. It's been 58 years since birth control was introduced on the market, okay? I think it was introduced in 1965, around that time. I think it was only approved in the start of the 70s for commercial use, right? We now have 50 plus years of data to work off of, right? We have all of these studies coming out now about how birth control affects women and affects our brains and affects our hormones and affects all these things. 50 plus years, okay? And you're telling me that the introduction of antidepressants was in the start was 1920, 1930, and then the actual first medications were distributed in 1950. You don't think that these women are going to have adverse effects? You don't think that people in general, we didn't talk about the men.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the men coming home from war. That's why a lot of these medications were actually invented.
But no, we're just gonna conclude that, oh well, it's because she's a stay-at-home wife.
So that is why I call BS on all of this stuff, and this is why we have to use our critical minds and we have to use logic when we're having conversations like this, because this was a 5-minute Google search at best. And I can deconstruct every single point that she makes. Please stop being lazy with your stuff. Please. Okay? And I'll even make a further video. This was just in my immediate reaction. But you cannot tell me that a stay-at-home wife, that a movement like this is dangerous because of this small little
28
book
women.
passage in a book that is
Not even
supposed
28, 16 women said that they're depressed, so this movement is dangerous. I need to stop saying where's the logic, because it's not here. 16 women said that they were depressed, so this movement is very dangerous. This movement of hers said, if you choose it, it's not, she's not pushing it down anybody's throat. She's not advocating for
She even
women
said that.
She said, hey, I choose to live my life like this. I make content for women who also choose to live their life like this. And you're going to say, well, no, these 16 women said that they were depressed, so this is a bad movement.
We did it. We made
lost
it.
A few brain cells. But
did you? I feel like I've lost so many. I gotta go like fix my brain really quick.
Read a book or something.
Read a book or something. If you guys liked this video, if you liked our reaction to this, make sure that you not only like this video, but you go to my lovely friend Chantel and you go to her page and you subscribe and you hit that notification bell so you get notified every time she has a live stream, because this girl drops bombs, okay? Truth bombs on you. Thank you so much for being here. If you guys liked this video, please make sure you give it a big thumbs up. It really helps me out in the algorithm and with everything. And if you guys want to see my face again, if you guys liked this, make sure to subscribe. I'm going to bring you more truth, okay? And if you guys want more follow-up videos, or if you want more collaborations with us, let me know. Let us know down in the comments. And we will see you on the next one. Bye, guys!